This is WFYI News Now. It's Monday, January 5th, and I'm Sarah Neal-Estes. Here are today's Central Indiana and statewide stories. Indiana's 2026 legislative session resumes today. As Ben Thorpe reports, lawmakers expect to end the session early after spending weeks in December debating redrawing the state's congressional districts.
The shorter session means that lawmakers will need to pass bills on a much tighter timeline, with some committees expected to only meet a handful of times. During an Indiana chamber event in November, Democratic Senator Shelley Yoder noted that this session isn't a budget year, meaning lawmakers focus on non-budget issues.
It's going to be, a tough session. It's a short session, so we had to look at all of our policies in a way that isn't going to have a fiscal impact.
Lawmakers say they hope to be done in late February and are slated to address both cost of living and education issues. I'm Ben Thorpe in Indianapolis.
Indiana Governor Mike Braun and Attorney General Todd Rokita went to place a monument with the Ten Commandments and the Bill of Rights at the Indiana Statehouse. Joni Dugan reports that's reignited a 25-year-old debate.
In 2000, the state wanted to replace a vandalized monument of the Ten Commandments. The new monument had both the Ten Commandments and the Bill of Rights inscribed on it. But the Indiana Civil Liberties Union sued, and a court injunction found that placing the monument on state property would violate the Establishment Clause in the First Amendment. That clause says Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. But recent decisions made by the Supreme Court have changed how the courts interpret the Establishment Clause. In a court document filed December 29th, Rokita argues the injunction should be vacated because it, quote, rests upon legal principles that can no longer be sustained. The request echoes a national trend of putting the Ten Commandments into government buildings and schools. I'm Joni Dugan.
A new program aims to address mental instability among Indiana's students. Tamoria Cunningham reports youth advocates hope the program can also reduce teacher turnover.
The Resilience Project began in September and helps teachers recognize student behavioral patterns that could have a negative impact on the classroom. Using the curriculum, students are able to track how they feel and better manage their emotions. Liz Coit is the president of the Marion County Commission on Youth, which is piloting the program. Coit says when children are emotionally stable, it is easier to teach them.
Teachers are seeing improvements in the children's ability to self-regulate. And to sort of hit pause before reacting.
The Resilience Project is currently active in Warren and Pike Townships. Coit says she wants the program to expand to all school districts in Indiana. I'm Tamoria Cunningham.
New leadership will take over at the Indianapolis City-County Council in the new year. Jill Sheridan has more.
The council announced plans to elect serving councilors Maggie Lewis as president and John Barth as vice president for 2026. Last month, Bob Bosley announced he would step aside from the leadership position that he's held since 2018. Lewis previously served as majority leader on the council that holds a Democratic majority. Jared Evans will now assume that role moving forward. The new leadership team also plans to launch a monthly newsletter. I'm Jill Sheridan.
The Indianapolis Colts ended their season yesterday, losing to the Houston Texans 38-30. While the Colts were competitive most of the game, the team fell apart in the final quarter, a problem throughout the second half of the season. Head coach Shane Steichen says the team will have to improve and find ways to finish late in the game.
I think you just got to dig down deep at the end of the game. When the game's on the line, whether it's a call or a play, you got to make it, to win the game. That's what this league is. It's a lot of one-score games, and you got to find ways to win.
Despite starting the season with one of the best records in the league, yesterday's defeat brought the Indianapolis football team to an overall losing season 8-9. When asked if he was worried about his job, Steichen said it was not up to him, but that he loves the team and the city. The Colts now go 5 seasons since they last made the playoffs. That's all for today's episode of WFYI News Now. Our podcast is produced by Zach Bundy, with support from the news team at WFYI and public media journalists across the state. Kendall Antron produced our music, and if you liked today's episode, remember to subscribe and share, and follow WFYI on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube to get the latest updates from our newsroom anytime. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.